Alright, also, I was going to make a Gotenks kind of response video with the community, and I realized it's been a few days since I made that post. I mean, looking at it, it released on October 15th is when I actually made the tweet, and I feel like a lot of those comments may be old at this point, or, you know, people's opinions just may have changed in general about Gotenks. I think this guy is still really good, but instead of doing just a Gotenks video, I think I wanted to do like an all technical kind of discussion here. If we take a look here at my last tier list, I did have basically all the technical characters in the same tier. And, you know, some people were like, oh, this guy should be above this guy, or this guy should be above that guy. Like, especially like Hit should be best in role. Some people were saying, you know, there's Majin Buu. That's, you know, people are slowly realizing how powerful this guy is. So I decided that I'm going to go ahead and just rank all the technicals in terms of like how good I would rate them all from 1 to 7, rather than keep them all in the same tier, just for a fun little video. And just kind of spice things up a little bit. When God Topo releases, I might do this for attackers. That'll be a little more interesting, right? But I think that that could be fun, right? Just to kind of rank these characters in a different-ish way than I would here, and just have a discussion about all of these characters in their own respective roles, you know, separately. Especially when it comes to technical and tank characters, because they're usually like you can only have one in each slot. So I want to talk about why I would rank this character above the other, but that's just my personal opinion here. We also do have, you know, kind of I did make a tweet, so we'll see some responses potentially here at the end of the video whenever the kind of video ends, right? But we'll be going randomly, but just each technical here. And I wonder if there's a way I could make it so that I could remove the character after. I don't know. Let me actually double check that. Okay, what I'll probably do is I'll just remove the name after we do the spin there, but we're just gonna do this here and we're gonna see what character it lands on and go from there. So it starts off with Android 17. So Android 17 again is a very good character. I think probably a little bit underrated right now in comparison to like how good he is in comparison to the other technicals is what I would say. I do like 70 quite a bit. I think he's very good at being able to make pushes, especially again with this Android barrier. I really do like this Android barrier here. Giving the extra HP and the movement speed up allows you to do a lot of different things in lane. You're able to, again, have a very easy time at escaping, I found, or you're able to make a really strong push if you really need it. Barrier balls, I guess, quite good for secures, honestly. It's very quick. It does decent damage, and once you get it to max level 3, it does get way stronger. I do think that this barrier ball is a nice move. Barrier knuckle could have a little stagger. I don't really think it's the biggest kind of greatest move of all time, but his ultimate is one of the most powerful abilities in the game. This ultimate is really insane, and especially if you're in a stack, you could make a gigantic push and even potentially team wipe if you're like, again, a 4v4. This 17 ultimate can very easily turn the tides, removing healing from enemies, and you know, especially against tank characters who have shield, right? Or you know, you're fighting Kale. Kale as well is able to just get completely neutered by this ability, and it gives more HP to allies as well. It's just really nice to see this ability just in play, and it's very hard for enemies to escape as well when you're actually using this, or at the very least, like, you may have to force their vanish. This counter barrier ultimate is just really good, man. He's doing quite a lot. And even then, he has some very unique things with the infinite energy reactor. I think it plays well into his kit. The rush attack as well. It does cancel transformations, which could be, you know, very useful, like mid game, I find, when you're, again, enemies around level 7, of course, and there's a lot of transformations in this game. So being able to just stop that from happening from those transformation characters, you know, a lot of times you're saving this transformation for when you're in a low HP state. If 17 is just able to straight up cancel that, he removes that kind of ability to have a second life, essentially, outside of like having Majin Buu in your lane, right? So it's just really good to have, like, I think all that he's having. He's just not particularly excelling at anything, if that makes sense, like himself. Like, I would say the ultimate's good. It's just that you're more so using this for a team push, right? And like his damage isn't necessarily super mega crazy unless you have, snowball stacks, which duh, I think a lot of characters' damage can start to get really ludicrous with snowball stacks. Other than that, like he's not really good at, I think, kind of being like um kind of like moving around the map like a rat, kind of like backdooring. He's not like the greatest at that per se. He's a little more towards like fights in lanes and like making pushes like as groups together towards the tower, if anything. That's how I view 17. And yeah, again, I do like this guy quite a bit, but if we're comparing him to other technicals, I would probably still have him in the lower tiers. I'm gonna have him at 6. I think 6 is what I'm thinking for 17. And again, once we get to other characters, we'll kind of talk about it more. But whilst I think this guy is good, I don't think that he's excelling at any like thing like compared to some of these other characters and what they're able to do overall. So let's see who we have next here. We have Kid Gohan, and here is a character that I feel like does excel at many different things. Kid Gohan is just able to do so much, and it's really just him existing buffs your allies attack up and his own defense up by quite a significant margin. Like, it is a very good boost. I mean, I think we could literally take a look here at the initial patch notes here. Where is the season 1 patch notes? I believe like we could take a look here for Gohan. Actually, no, it's Frieza. It's the version 1.10 patch notes here. We see Gohan's buff. He gives 400 attack. His base HP was basically adjusted better. All of this was just buffed to hell. Like, it's crazy how good this Gohan got buffed after. And I think all of his skills just have just like very good utility, especially skill 2 and skill 3. Skill 1 is more so like just a decent thing. Like, sure, it's there. But like skill 2, sorry, I was clicking on the wrong skill. Skill 2 has either a stagger or no skills. It's very quick. It's a huge distance. You're able to even escape with this move. There's a lot you could do with skill 2. It's very good. Skill 3, again, having the energy barrier and the defense up to yourself and the ally hero. That's also a very good ability against like Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan Goku, like a lot of these beam blast monsters, Kale. Like, this guy's able to just kind of help out against those kind of abilities quite a lot. And you also inflict enemies with the energy defense down if they're, within the barrier as well, which is really cool. And it's also just a warp to your ally. So just like overall, he's doing quite a bit here. His ultimate also does have a stun right here, specifically the shattering beam. This having a stun is very silly. Even though you're able to kind of vanish out of it, the range I think was increased for this as well. Like, at the bare minimum, forces your enemy to use their vanish out, and then this beam either will catch them or someone else. If you're laning with someone, obviously you're going to be 9 out of 10 times, I feel like, right? He also does just, what's it called, have physical defense down, which is cool. We'll take that, right? Just like an extra debuff to enemies. Like, this guy is just like, there's not really like a way you could be like, oh, Gohan's not a character that's like, oh, you can counterplay Gohan by doing this necessarily or by doing this. He kind of doesn't have like a move like that. Like, I think some other characters, like, you can kind of like play around it. Gohan's is very straightforward and he's very good. In fact, he's the one that's kind of counterplaying a lot of these top tier characters with this skill 3. I think Gohan's best technical. That's just me. He's also just, obviously, as a technical character, is very quick, and since he is able to escape a decently like quick, like he's able to not only move pretty quickly, but this charges really fast and you're able to cover a wide distance. That Gohan has some escapage to him as well. Big fan of what this Gohan's doing overall. Like, W Gohan. Like, I don't know, man. Like, the buffs he gives are just so good. He's just doing so much. I'm a huge fan of this guy now. And then in the beta test, I hated this guy, but they actually just buffed him to hell. Let's take a look here at another character. I mean, it seems like we have Gotenks. And again, I was just talking about characters that have like built-in workarounds, I feel like, and Gotenks is one of those characters where, again, I think he's really good, and if you're really good with Gotenks, you have a lot of nice ways to kind of get kills. He's like a very offensive kind of version of a technical character. I can't speak of a technical character, and this exaltation is so good at being able to, like, you get one pick off, and what you're able to do with that movement speed up to yourself and your ally heroes are crazy. You could switch all the way to another lane, you could push a tower, you could go push for boss or something like that. Like, there's the movement speed up is really huge. This is a really good effect, but when you look at everything else Gotenks is doing, I mean, this skill 1, it's kind of janky at times, but unlike like Gohan, where it's like, you know, let's say we talked about Gohan's ultimate, and you know, a lot of people talk about this, right? And they're like, oh, but this could affect like and stagger multiple people. I guess, like, let's compare more so the skill, I guess would be a better comparison. Gohan's skill, you turn it up, if it hits, it hits. Like, you could vanish out of the way for it, but if it hits, it hits. If Gotenks hits you with this, you are able to vanish out of the skill. You will keep comboing, but he's not going to be able to stagger you anymore. And you do warp back. So, unlike Gohan, who when he pushes in, you're going to be able to capitalize on that even yourself with your ally. Gotenks is more so like he does the damage, then stuns you, but then since you warp back, you might not be able to capitalize on much. You need to set it up for your teammate. So, which I guess to be fair, Gohan is like the same thing, but you guys kind of get the point. Having two characters being able to capitalize on that stun compared to one, even if just for a little bit of time, can make a worlds of a difference, right? At least that's what I've personally found with Gotenks. Galactic Donut, not really a fan of it. I've always, as a I'm not a fan of it. You could use it like effectively, but I'm not really like seeing it personally. In 9 out of 10 times, I think there's those situations where you get the Galactic Donut against like 3 people, and then you bring them into your ult, and then you just like kind of massively hit stun them, applying no skills attacks to the last skill, right? The ghosts are very good. I think that is definitely Gotenks' best ability. The amount of things you're able to do with these, again, it's crazy. Like, you have so much flexibility. You could protect towers, you could push towers, you could again just like kind of help stop someone from just getting to a certain location. You could even block off someone if you play it smart. I think it could be very funny. And I think there's many things that could be eventually figured out with this Gotenks even more in terms of strategies, but I think if we're gonna rate Gotenks, I just think that a lot of these moves kind of have ways around them. Like, again, the Galactic Donut is not really difficult to avoid. It is very slow, and if you're expecting it even just a little bit, I think you're very easily able to escape it. And this ult even is also just like a little bit slow with kind of the activation time. You're able to see when that would be activated as well. So just many different things about Gotenks that I am like, I still think he's really good, and I would place him at, I think, 4th here is where I'm gonna place him. But I think that I wouldn't have him in my top 3 personally for technical characters. Like, I just personally wouldn't like. Yeah, I think you guys kind of get what I'm saying from here. He's good. He's very, very good. It's just there's just other characters that do overall better things, right? Now the next character here is going to be Frieza. Now Frieza is a massive boss killer. Zarbon was buffed beyond belief. Zarbon does so much damage, especially again with the Imperial Decree. Again, the big issues with Frieza is, you know, I still feel like the skill cooldowns are a bit much. His ultimate's kind of like, it's decent. Like, we'll take it for what he's doing, which I think he's probably the best solo boss secure in the game, like by himself, just because he technically has 2 allies with him. He's like one of the best boss secure characters in the game. He's really good at being able to secure towers, especially because he has this ability. When he gets hit, he still is able to kind of move past, right? And Frieza is generally just very quick, man. Like, this guy is super speedy across the map. You know, he's really, really, really good. I would say, like, in team fights as well, this guy could be decent, but it's pretty, like, it's not the worst being able to move around Zarbon and Dodoria, and if you do land a kill on them, that's what, a 30-second-ish cooldown still. Like, the cooldown is quite high if you're able to land a kill on either Zarbon or Dodoria, which is not like an impossible thing to do, especially if Frieza isn't very mindful of them. You're able to like burst damage Zarbon or Dodoria, and Frieza loses a lot of his kind of things to him, which, you know, is obviously very fair. If it wasn't as high of a cooldown, it would be kind of crazy, but I don't even think it needs to be as high as it is right now. And, you know, even though Frieza could push towers, it's like, if these guys are on cooldown, he's not able to do that good of a push, you know. Or if you have them deployed somewhere and you need to keep them deployed and you're trying to sneak tower, it's like, well, you risk leaving your tower open potentially if you're making that play, or if you're behind in towers even, to where Frieza kind of, I find, even though he's able to get around to these towers very easily, because of the cooldown, it takes a while for him to kind of even melt down some of these towers as well. I mean, Gekishin High you could use for Frieza, that could be a pretty decent option, but still. So that's why I think I would have Frieza at 5. I think I like him a little better overall than 17, but you could definitely switch these two around, and I'm a 17 laser. I do really like 17 quite a bit. It's just, I think Frieza, again, securing objectives is like the most important thing, honestly, because then you can get double Zeno, you got all the different perks that you get from securing bosses. Like, I think we could literally look here again in the version 1.1.0, I think it does state kind of what these bosses are giving you somewhere here. Like, for example, Android 16 gives you movement speed buff, Nappa gives you rush attack buff, I believe Ribrianne gives you the healing, and I believe Jackal gives you skill damage up. Like, there's abilities that you get. Nappa's not like the craziest thing ever, but the other three, you do get perks on top of having the objective, which definitely help out, right? That's why it's also very important to get these objectives, because not only are you able to get double Zeno, but you get all these different perks that do make a difference at the end of the day, right? So that's why Frieza is just like kind of there for me, right, as the best character to kind of get those objectives. I think from here we'll go with I think I'll talk about Krillin next. I think from here we can just pick the characters I want to talk about. Krillin's really good. I just think, again, he also just has a lot of workarounds to what he's doing, right? And, you know, universally agreed that, you know, Krillin might have been even the best technical in the network test, right? Because in the network test, we had Frieza, who was pre-buff, Majin Buu, who was pre-buff. We had 17 as well, which is really good. And then Kid Gohan pre-buff. Like, 3 of these characters were pre-buff, right? And then it was basically between 17 and Krillin. And at the time, I think I favored Krillin more, but I think as the meta is forming and things like that, and we have more characters in the game, we have more beam characters in the game especially, Krillin's able to be worked around decently well, even though the mines do become invisible. If you're facing a Krillin, you're gonna be kind of thinking about these, and I think, you know, like, you could work around these a decently easy way with just Ki Blast. Like, so many characters have Ki Blast moves. And again, same thing with Gotenks Ghost, by the way. If you didn't know, one reason, you know, Gotenks is slower, the Gotenks Ghost, I didn't talk about it, but it works in the same way that Krillin's mine work, where Ki Blast, or even like well, specifically for Gotenks, even like physical moves can, you know, stop the Gotenks Ghost, but Ki Blasts especially are very effective against that. And you are able to blast through these mines and explode them yourself with skills, which, you know, you could say, oh, it does waste a skill, but like, that's kind of, this is like Krillin's best move, and you're able to kind of avoid that, right? Solar Flare is only able to be used from front-facing enemies, so whilst you can catch people off guard, like when you're actually like in moving around in battle and stuff like that, like having to specifically position yourself to be front-facing enemies is a little bit unfortunate. And, you know, you just it basically is a nothing move unless the enemy is specifically looking towards you, which does suck a little. I think maybe even like in the range, something should apply there, but that's just me. I think they could definitely buff the skill 2 a little more. Skill 3 is nice. It could be used for a decent amount of burst damage, and, you know, I think Krillin could be actually pretty good at securing things and farming. I just think he needs a little more to him, especially with the skill 2. Maybe this could be buffed a little. This is really good for getting first hits. And then his ultimate did get nerfed. I feel like, you know, his ultimate's pretty good. I think his ultimate is quite good. And the nerf is like fair. I just think his other skills should have been maybe compensated for it. And there's just something that I just think this character maybe just needs a little more to him. Especially with the second skill and maybe the third skill. A little like first skill, having a workaround is fine, but like because this guy has like open workarounds, like that's the issue as well. And you know, skill 2 is kind of useless. I would say this guy's still good. Like, of course, I did have him in this higher rank here. Like, I still think this guy is quite strong. It's just, when we compare him to other technicals, he's a little lacking. I'm not asking for many things. I just think he could use a little bit of a boost, right? You could even argue that Krillin and 17 should be a tier lower, and I wouldn't really disagree with you. I would also probably switch U and Gammas, by the way. I think I made a mistake there. A pretty big mistake. My bad. That's all I would say about that. Now we have Hit Majin Buu. This is tough. This is tough. Hit and Majin Buu. I think I probably have to give it to Buu, man. Like, I think it's really good for sure. But Majin Buu, man, he's kind of crazy. We all know how good Hit is. Hit's the best rat character in the game, the best at backdooring. He's able to sneak around, and when she gets to skill 3, this is just really good at being able to just sneak past enemies and like hit Gekishin burst, max Gekishin burst, like you could stay invisible while he's doing that. Hits overall just very good. He, especially if you know how to work around bushes or your enemies don't know how to work around bushes, like this guy is super effective, and he can do quite a bit of damage. He's able to open up enemies quite easily as well, like with this skill 2. Skill 1 is able to penetrate walls, so you're able to steal like Kais and things like that. Like, it's pretty decent at getting some secures for Kais. When it comes to bosses though, he's not really that great at securing bosses in any way. And I think, you know, Hit's more so better in like a solo environment, I would say, than a team environment compared to Buu. And when it comes to like ranking this tier list, I'm thinking more so of like in a stack, at least a duo, but ideally like a 4 stack rather than like, let's say, solo. If you're solo queuing, Hit is probably the best choice in this list, is what I would say. Like, if I'm solo queuing, I would probably rather choose Hit over the other 2 top 3. But since we're considering team fights and you kind of coordinating with your allies, I think that's very important in this game. Majin Buu definitely is what takes the cake for me a little over Hit now that I'm using them more and more and more. I mean, again, this guy got mega buffed. Skill 1 does actual damage now, but it still has the attack down and movement speed down. Like, you're able to just completely neuter an enemy and make a disgusting push. And the thing about Majin Buu is that because he also has this heal, which his range was increased and the cancel distance was also increased, you're able to heal from very far away at this point, even like play safe and stay a little back. So even if you make this push and you're able to get an enemy down very low to HP and they start pushing back against you, you at least have this healing ray, which is able to give you, I think, especially early laning, it's huge. It's so good. Like, these 2 moves by far are carrying Buu. And even he could do like decent-ish damage. Like, Majin Buu's able to do some really good stuff. I think the buffs they gave him were very impactful. I'm not personally really a fan of this right here. This move is like just okay at best. It could be good for making distance or escape. It's nothing really too crazy though. His ultimate's not really anything crazy until, I would say, like, you know, level 2 or even level 3 super. But still, I think it could be very valuable when you need it. I find like there could be use for, you can group people together and then just kind of dump them into like a god of destruction, or dump them into like an enemy ultimate or something like that. Like, there's many things you could do with Majin Buu here. But I'm a fan of him. I think this guy's just, his buffs were really good, so I would probably rank it like this. But this is like my kind of idea for technical rankings, is what I would say. I mean, you can make 1 or 2 switches or 1 or 2 changes, but this is just generally what I'm thinking. There's depending on your, again, taste, but I would say top 3 for me is locked in, is what I'm thinking. Then 4, then like 5, 6, and 7 like is kind of what I'm thinking generally. Like I would not put Gotenks in top 3, but I wouldn't put Frieza at 4 either. Things like that. But let's take a look here and see if I got any responses and just see what people are thinking. 1 and 2, Gohan and Buu hit, and then Gotenks at 4. Yeah, again, we literally do agree at the same thing. I mean, Buu is like, I mean, Gotenks this slow is bad, but he's still really good. I mean, like you could, like you would look at him like Gotenks at 4, but it's like, I mean, the other characters are better, but Gotenks is still really good too, right? In a tier list, maybe because that's a good way to rank characters. That's very fair. Gohan is crazy, but it feels like nobody plays him because he's a stupid baby. I mean, Gohan's very easy to use. Remove hit from the game. This Expo really doesn't like facing hits, huh? Boo won. I mean, I could see it. I could see it. Like, I wouldn't say no. I would not say no. I would not say no to Boo 1. But I think Gohan over hit. Hit super strong backdoor. Like, you're even listing more things for Gohan than hit. I don't know, man. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. But at least a lot of people are agreeing. Boo hit Gohan. I think that's very good that people are on the same page for that. Gotenks 4, 5 Frieza, 17 Krillin, you don't know. Gohan hit Frieza. Krillin 17. Can't rate Gotenks because you haven't used him enough since his release. Same for Fat Boo. I mean, roughly the same kind of ranking. I think 17 I like better than Krillin. I think 17 is just on, like, average, gonna be better for you. Again, hate that low. Whoa, what is this? Gotenks Boo Gohan. Gotenks at 1, I don't know. Yeah, there's not a single bad technical, but... Oh, my dog wants my attention. So, I'm at this video. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. I might do this for Attacker when Toppo's out, so stay tuned.